Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, we'll be discussing the 1951 musical Showboat, starring Richard Kiel and Ava Gardner. Since this movie is actually the third different version of Showboat, which was really the first real Broadway. It was actually the first Broadway musical that was made into two previous films, but the 1951 version was the most famous one out of the three, because it was the first one that was in color. You also had Ava Gardner in it, so it was really the most famous version, really, and the most successful one out of the three. Of course, this one, for those who don't know the movie, the plot of Showboat. Showboat is about this riverboat that goes up and down the Mississippi River to all these different towns that has a port along the Mississippi, and the riverboat pulls in, and they entertain the local people on their boat, because they have all different acts. It's like a variety act. They have a dance routine, and they run plays. Either Shakespeare or some other famous play that had to be. And this is in 1880, when the movie's supposed to be set in. But it's very important, which we're going to get into in a plot point later on. And what they do is they have a musical act, they have a dance act, they put on a play for the people in the town. And they say, oh wow, a showboat's coming. And they all run to buy tickets and see the actors and see all the different musical acts they have on this boat, or on this showboat. Of course, this movie is also based on, or famous for having two songs on there. One was, of course, the song "Old Man River," the song by a black guy with a deep baritone voice. And it's really one of the most movie songs in the musical. And it's very rare that, even though this is 1951, it's very, very rare that you have a black guy singing one of the big. And I think it was the only time in the musical, really, except for maybe in Cats, where you have a black actor singing the biggest song and the most famous song, I feel, in the musical. Which is Old Man River. And the other song was sung later on in the movie, was sung by Ava Gardner, saying, "I can't help loving that man of mine," which Barbra Streisand had performed in her 1994 tour. And I know she did it later on in her tours, but I do remember that in 1994 she performed this song in Madison Square Garden. And concert that I have on tape, by the way. So I know that she performed this song in her 94 tour, because she grew up with Broadway. She grew up with musicals. She starred in Funny Girl. So she grew up with Showboat. And like I said earlier, this was the very first Broadway musical, Showboat. So in 1929, in the early days of the Talking Pictures, they came out with a movie version. And then I think they won in 1930. I think like 10 years later, they came out with another version. And then 1951, they come out with this color version, and the color version, which is the 1951 movie, the 1951 version of Showboat, was the only version of the movie Showboat that was in color. It was completely in color. But of course, this movie, of course, is a little bit. At least the storyline at the time, when Showboat first came on Broadway, I think it was back in the 20s, it was a little bit controversial. And of course, they dealt with that plot point in this film. The plot point is that Ava Gardner's character, who is married to another actor who both perform on the Showboat, in whatever plays they were performing, there would be the two lead stars. Well, they found out that there was a worker on the boat who was kind of jealous that Ava Gardner's character was married to this other guy, and that he knew a deep dark secret about Ava Gardner's character. And when the Showboat pulls into the state of Mississippi, I forgot what town it was, but they pull into the state into Mississippi along the Mississippi River. He runs out after getting into a fight with Ava Gardner's on-screen husband. He runs off the boat, goes to the local sheriff's office, and tells them, "Hey, you got a black person and a white on stage with white people." Because don't forget, this is in the 1880s, folks. This, and I think this movie was supposed to take place in 1880. So you have segregation in that time, and white people cannot be on the same stage with black people. Even in that time. And Ava Gardner says, "Wait, but she's not black, she's white." And then Ava Gardner admits that her mother was black and her father was white. So because she has Negro blood, since this was a 1951 movie, you couldn't say the N-word. In terms of, you couldn't say nigger in the movie 1951. Even in 1951, you had to be politically correct. You don't want to say the word nigger in that time in the movie, because you would offend. They were politically correct then as they are now. It's worse now, but it's just as bad then. Well, not quite as bad, but bad enough. And you couldn't say the word nigger in the movie 1951 for 1951 audiences. You couldn't do it then. But they did use the word Negro. However, they used the word Negro. They said, "Oh, she has Negro blood in her." Well, guess what? They did a trick where Ava Gardner's husband pokes her finger and sucks the blood off her finger. Says, "Oh, no, I have Negro blood in myself and me too," because they sucked the blood off her finger. I mean, and they said, "Okay, you have Negro blood too," and they kicked both. They had to fire. The captain Hawks had to fire both of them because of the rule. Even though he didn't want to do it, kind of fired both of them, but he was like forced to fire them, basically. So that's what they did. They basically fired both of them, and they left. And you don't know what happened to Ava Gardner's husband in the rest of the film. You never see him. You never saw the husband again. Whether after they drove away, you see them driving away off the road to go live somewhere. You never saw the husband again. You saw Ava Gardner towards the end of the film, but not then. Meanwhile, after all that drama was going on, they had this gambler played by Richard Kiel. He comes out and says, "Hey, I unfortunately heard the news that you had to fire this other actor. Do you mind if I take his place?" Because Richard Kiel applied before, but he couldn't get a job because they were filled up. Well, now they had a space opening because the Captain Hawks had to fire the other guy. So he gets the job, and Richard Kiel fell in love with the Captain Hawks' daughter, and the two of them became the two leads for the play. And not only that, but they fell in love, and they ended up getting married. And after they got married, they decided to leave the Showboat and live on their own for a while. And what happened was that Richard Kiel's luck went bad, and he decided to leave his wife, to dump his wife, to walk out on her. What he didn't know was that his wife was pregnant. Of course, being a 1951 audience, you couldn't say the word pregnant on screen. So she said, "Oh, I'm expecting a baby." You said the word expecting, but she didn't say the word pregnant. Couldn't say the word pregnant. Kind of like on I Love Lucy, couldn't say the word pregnant on screen. So what happened was, that's what Richard Kiel didn't know about. So about 5 years goes by, and Ava Gardner recognizes Richard Kiel, and told him, "Look, I felt so sorry for you guys, and I heard you're having tough times, and then I heard that your daughter is doing very, very well and is involved in the act." And Richard Kiel says, "What are you talking about?" Because because Ava Gordon didn't know that Richard Kiel left his wife. So Ava said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know." And so you didn't know you had a daughter? I said, "No, she never told me that she was going to have a baby. She never said anything." So what happened was they left. And Richard Kiel goes back to his wife at the end. They reunite at the end of the movie, and he meets the kid, and that's basically what happens at the end of the movie. They reunite at the end, and that's it. And then you hear the song "Old Man River" again at the end of the movie. But you know, it is a stereotypical. It is nowadays. If you see the Showboat today, in 2018, it's such a cliche storyline for a musical. But like I said earlier at the top of the review, this was the very first ever Broadway musical, and it was made 3 times into a feature film. And I think it was the only musical that was ever made 3 times as a movie. I think it was like the only one that was. And you can't make songs like they had on Showboat today. I mean, the songs in there were actually, it's only like two songs really that's really noticeable and remembered to this day. And it's "Old Man River" and "You Can't Help Loving That Man of Mine." There's only 2 songs that's really memorable for this movie. And of course, Showboat was, a few years ago, Showboat was revived on Broadway. And of course, they used the song "Old Man River" to hype the movie. I mean, the hype the revival of Showboat. But Showboat still holds up today as one of the greatest one of the greatest musicals and one of the best musical movies of all time. So those of you who have never seen Showboat, I suggest you go and check it out. So that's the review of the movie Showboat. Please click on the video. Feel free to comment on it. Please subscribe to my channel. Please forward this video to your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews not only on my YouTube channel at rallyc.com, that's all WDY, and then c.com. Homepage of the Rally Reviewer, Christy Moore, and please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.